What's going on, guys? I'm Chris and welcome back to another video. I always love saying that, but today we're talking about my top 10 favorite TV shows of all time. Now, this was a very hard list to compile. The way that I looked at it was how many times I've watched the show or individual episodes over and over again, the overall quality of the show, and how much I personally enjoy the show. There's going to be some shows on here that are still going, so they're not completed, so they kind of have a leg up on shows that might have dropped the ball in the finale. If you get where I'm going, you might, if you know me, you know exactly what show I'm talking about. I also have some honorable mentions that I'm going to get into, but before I do all that, definitely hit the like button, comment your favorite TV shows down below, and if you haven't subscribed to the channel, it would mean the world if you did. I've got a ton of content planned for you guys, so thank you for just clicking on this video in general, but without further ado, here are my top 10 favorite TV shows. So the first honorable mentions I have are Drake and Josh, a childhood favorite of mine. Really hurt me not to put this on the list. Seinfeld, just a comedy classic. How I Met Your Mother, one of the best sitcoms of all time in my opinion. One of the few ones that I truly enjoy. And then a show that's still going that I put an honorable mention because I couldn't put it on the list yet since we've only seen 5 episodes. But WandaVision. I think this show has the potential to stick the landing and honestly go toe-to-toe with some of these MCU movies. Coming in at number 10 for me is going to be That 70s Show. One of the best sitcoms of all time. I just love the hangout vibe. It reminds me of Dazed and Confused, which is one of my favorite coming-of-age movies. I think it is my favorite coming-of-age movie, actually. I really do. This is just kids hanging out in the 70s, having fun. You've got Kelso in there with those classic one-liners. Well, damn, Jackie, I can't control the weather. Iconic. And then, of course, Hyde in there being a badass. And just Eric, man. I love Eric and his reactions every time Red calls him a dumbass and all these things. It's a hilarious show that really acts as like escapism almost. If you just want to have a fun time, relax, clear your mind, throw on That 70s Show. Coming in at number 9 for me is going to be Barry. Now, this is a show that's still going on, only has 2 seasons, and it's on HBO. It stars Bill Hader, who's basically an assassin, but he's like a very normal, average Joe kind of guy. And it's only 30-minute episodes, and there have been 20 episodes so far, and I'm loving it. Every second of the show I love. I think I've seen season 1 twice now. Only seen season 2 once. Bill Hader's just a guy that, I respect. He's a hilarious comedian, but he can do, like, dark comedy and serious roles as well. Season 2 ended on a cliffhanger, too. I'm not going to spoil anything. But, like, this show might seem like a dark comedy, lighthearted on the outside. Nah, it gets intense. I will not say anything. I don't want to spoil anything. But there's a crazy episode in season 2 that has like a 9.9 rating on IMDb. You just gotta watch that and then see how you feel about Barry. Waiting for season 3 though. Where is season 3? Please give it to us, HBO. Please. Coming in at number 8 for me is going to be the Netflix original Ozark. I binged through this show back in March, like right when quarantine started. Watched all of season 1, watched all of season 2 in like 2 days, and then I watched season 3 right when it came out, and man, this show rocks. Can't wait for season 4. Jason Bateman is so subtle in this role as Marty Byrde. I know Jason Bateman for being the funny guy in a lot of movies, right? But his dramatic acting chops really show here. The thing about Ozark is it's very similar to Breaking Bad, very reminiscent of it, except it takes place on the Ozarks, the lake in Missouri, and that setting just fits the story perfectly. There are some wild episodes of this show where there's twists and turns you don't see coming. There's certain villainous characters that you just hate, and most of these characters you don't really like. They're all pretty bad people, truthfully. But that's what makes the show so interesting, is when you want to follow and see exactly how these people are going to try and get away with whatever they're doing, how this money laundering scheme is going to play out, because you can't stay on the run forever. I'm really excited to see where season 4 goes. I think that they're doing a Breaking Bad. Season 4 is going to be the final season. They're going to split into 2 parts, though. It's one of the strongest Netflix originals. If you haven't seen it, I highly recommend it. It's a very easy binge, in my opinion. Coming in at number 7 for me is going to be the Amazon Prime original, The Boys. Now, I watched this show for the first time back in September, binged through all of season 1, and then I watched season 2 as it came on, at least the last half of season 2, but wow, this show is spectacular. I'm not afraid to say it. It's the best. The first season is like a satire on the current state of like the entire superhero genre. And season 2 adds to everything. You get the character of Stormfront introduced. Homelander's presence is more felt. Carl Urban is really one of the main reasons to enjoy the show as Billy Butcher. Anytime he talks, I'm just like, man, I want to listen to what you're saying. And then Homelander, this guy's a star in the making. He's going to be a mega star in a few years, I guarantee it. If he lands like a movie role, I could totally see him getting an Oscar nom. Like, this guy rocks as Homelander. His acting honestly gives me chills thinking about it right now. I can't wait for season 3. This is one of the most original shows on TV. Yes, it's a superhero show, but it's very dark. Like, one of the most disturbing shows I've ever seen when it comes to violence and gore. Like, I'd put it on par with Game of Thrones, maybe even more violent and gratuitous. So if you can't handle that stuff, I don't know if I'd recommend The Boys, but if you do and you want some good comedy too, there's a lot of dark comedy in here. The Boys is for you. All right, folks, coming in at number 6 is a show that definitely might have been number 1 if it had stuck the landing. That's Game of Thrones. Seasons 1 through 7, I've seen each episode at least 2 times. I rewatched it all leading up to season 8, and season 8 was the biggest disappointment I think ever when it comes to television, maybe even movie and television industry in general. Like, you have a cultural phenomenon of a show with Game of Thrones that everyone basically in the world is talking about, getting hyped for season 8. And then they announced it's only 6 episodes, which is a little sus, and then they dropped the ball. They dropped the ball, guys, and it's so sad to think about right now how many Game of Thrones fans there were, and how many Game of Thrones fans there probably still are, but it's dead radio silence. No one talks about Game of Thrones online. No one's ever talking about the show at all, actually. It's just sad. Benioff and Weiss basically killed the show with the lackluster writing of season 8. It was extremely rushed. There wasn't really any payoff for the characters that we love for the first 7 seasons, and there were no epic moments that were kind of promised. I'm not going to get into spoilers too much. You guys can infer what I'm talking about. Game of Thrones seasons 1 through 6 were each 10 episodes. They were all badass. Season 6 has my 2 favorite episodes with Battle of the Bastards and Winds of Winter. Ends on such a high. Season 7 is still really good, don't get me wrong. It's shorter, and the pacing is it's a little more rushed, all right? A little bit, but it's still really solid. And then Season 8, my gosh, they just completely rushed through what could have been the greatest ending or climax to a TV show in history. They should have made it 10 seasons, spread it out more. The show was making HBO so much money. HBO wanted to keep it going, but 2 showrunners in Benioff and Weiss, Dan and Dave, man, really dropped the ball here because they wanted to rush to Star Wars. They're not even on Star Wars anymore. We can't have nice things, folks. It's very unfortunate. At least we have those first 7 seasons to cherish. But after that, I don't know if I'll ever go back and watch season 8. It's too soon. Is that still a thing? It's too soon. I can't handle it. It's just very, very disgusting, honestly, and disappointing. Bringing us into the top 5 is going to be probably the best Netflix original, Stranger Things. Now, I wanted to put this higher. I really did, but I had to think about some other shows. Stranger Things, though, I love to death. I remember season 1 coming out, and I watched it in 2 days. I would watch it before and after work. I would work late nights, and I loved season 1 so much. I rewatched it with my friend. I rewatched it again, so I've seen that one now probably 5 times. Season 2, I've only seen once or twice. It's not my favorite, but season 3 did a complete 180 and just took it in the positive direction. As you've got Billy being a full force now. I just love the mall and the 80s vibe. Steve has been my favorite character since season 1. I know that he was a total a-hole in season 1 and everyone's like, oh, I've been team Steve all along. Maybe I just kind of like those kind of a-hole characters. I don't know, because I have a feeling they're going to turn around. Dustin and Hopper are 2 of my other favorite characters. Eleven is just such a badass. The only bad episode of this show is season 2, episode 7. They're trying to set up this spin-off show that just completely failed on every aspect, and is a disastrous episode, honestly. There's no need for it to exist. They should cut it from the Netflix catalog right now. But the rest of the show is perfect, almost. I would say it's such an homage to the 80s. Fun, Spielberg kind of vibe, the little horror vibe. I can't wait for season 4. Please give it to us in 2021. I know that they're saying they are, but please, we need it in this world. Coming in at number 4, The Office, the good old Office. This show is absolute hilarity to me. I think that it's one of the funniest shows ever. At least the first 7 seasons are great. Seasons 8 and 9, Michael Scott leaves. They're not as great. There's no doubt about it. Jim and Pam's relationship, chef's kiss. It's so heartfelt, and Jim and Dwight are hilarious. Their antics back and forth. It's so easy to binge, and I know that most people, when it was on Netflix, would watch through it on a loop, just over and over and over. I know people who have seen the show 10 plus times. It's just that good. It's dry humor, but it works. I laugh hysterically at episodes I've seen 7 times, and it trumps Parks and Rec in every aspect. Parks and Rec, I have seen every episode of, and it's just not as funny to me. It still has Ron Swanson and Andy Dwyer, all these characters, but The Office is leaps and bounds better. That's just my opinion. Hashtag The Office or hashtag Parks and Rec. Which team are you? Let me know in the comments down below. Coming in at number 3 for me, I don't know if this is a hot take, but it's just literally the way I feel. If my background doesn't give it away, it's The Mandalorian. Every single episode of this show is pretty dang good. There's a few that are more lackluster in season 1, but still, The Mandalorian is essentially what I view as one long Star Wars movie. The way season 2 ended, I kid you not, resparked so much love and passion for Star Wars in myself and many others that I know. With the return of a beloved character, my background might give it away. But there was an episode where Ahsoka came back, one where Bo-Katan came back. It was the ultimate fan service, but so well written, and showed that Filoni and Favreau have a mind for Star Wars. They have a plan, and they know exactly what they want to enact with it. And I've seen season 1, I think, 2 to 3 times. I love it still. It ends on such a bang with Taika Waititi's directorial episode, and IG-11 in there is another really solid character. All around, I just love The Mandalorian. It continues to build the Star Wars lore in such a creative and unique way, and it feels almost like a fresh start. While we are bringing in a lot of older names now and kind of having these fan service moments, I don't care. I love it, and I'm excited for this almost expanded universe that we're getting of Disney Star Wars shows. Coming in at number 2 for me is going to be Star Wars: The Clone Wars. That's right, I just finished season 7. Now, I grew up on seasons 1 through 5, and then when season 6 hit Netflix, I watched that as well. It had been 6 years, though, until they dropped a new season, season 7, the final season, and I didn't watch it when it came out, but I finally have watched it after rewatching all of Clone Wars. I have a video talking about it, link will be up above. This is the perfect bridge between episodes 2 and 3, Attack the Clones and Revenge of the Sith. It has all of these unique stories and different facets of the galaxy, exploring Anakin, Ahsoka Tano, Obi-Wan, Rex. There's all these characters that get fleshed out even more. It makes the appreciation for the prequels even higher than it was already. 22-minute episodes, all these arcs come together to just create these stories that you wouldn't have seen otherwise. Seeing the smaller stories across the galaxy play out, whether that's with younglings or Wookiees or any character. I love it all. It's such an easy show to rewatch, and the expansion of characters like Darth Maul and the Death Watch on Mandalore is probably some of my favorite arcs, with Savage Opress and the Night Sisters as well. Like, that stuff is so enriching, and I'm engulfed when I'm watching it on the screen. I love Clone Wars. And it's definitely nostalgia too. Nostalgia plays a big part with seasons 1 through 5, but season 7 is a perfection. At least the last 4 episodes. If they stood alone as a feature film, I think it would be one of my favorite Star Wars movies. It's that damn good. Taking the top spot, coming in at number 1 for me, is going to be Breaking Bad. I think this is the perfect TV show. It never misses a beat. It's only 5 seasons. They break season 5 into 2 parts technically, but the character transformation of Walter White could not have been written better. Jesse Pinkman's my favorite character. I just like seeing his antics on screen. El Camino is a solid epilogue to his character as well. But Breaking Bad has got some of the best character arcs of all time. Vince Gilligan's a mastermind when it comes to crafting this TV show. It's got the best finale ever in my opinion. It has season 4 could have ended the show. The finale was that good. And then season 5 trumps season 4 in my opinion, which is just insanity. But yes, the first season is a little slow. I know that's the common complaint with the show. I think it is the greatest TV show of all time from a writing perspective. If you haven't seen Breaking Bad, you gotta watch it. I'm not gonna spoil anything, that's why I'm not going too deep here, but I still have to watch Better Call Saul. It might have made this list, honestly. I've heard it's a really great kind of prequel show revolving around Saul Goodman. I'm going to watch that leading up to season 6, but Breaking Bad is the perfect TV show. So yeah, that's going to do it for my top 10 favorite TV shows of all time. Definitely hit the like button and comment your favorite shows down below. I know there's a ton of TV out there, so there's probably going to be a lot of different answers. So I'm excited to have a conversation in the comments down below. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing to the channel. It would mean the world. Got a lot of content planned, TV content revolving around WandaVision, so definitely stick around for that. Until next time, I'll see you guys later.